Welcome to the channel, everybody. Yeah, we're not having one of those days. We're not having one of those weeks. We're having one of those years. Holy crap. Seems like every time I come out to the shop to get stuff done, I'm going backwards. Had to change main jet in the 310Z. Lean it out a little bit, get the thing fire up and run correctly. That was probably the easiest thing that we did today. Went about the smoothest, which wasn't really smooth, but it's better than the rest of the day. Did it fire up? Yep. Did it run? Yeah. Did it rev? It kind of hopped the top end, and it even backfired for it. Not happy. There is going to be a test video coming up, so hit that subscribe button. Let me know. You guys having one of those years too? So the Z runs, it ran. It was running rich. We went from a 172 to a 165 main. It seems to have improved it, but we got to bring it down the road, put it on track, and make sure that that's all square. Video to be coming in the future. Not very far future. It's gonna be pretty near. Will we blow it up? We're gonna find out. Stay tuned for that. Little carb adjustment, no big deal. Get this Z running like it needs to. Go back to Dave. He can play around with it. He's got a hell of a collection of bikes going that we've built. This is one of his pride and joys. Still waiting on a wrap. Yep. That little pop I'm not too happy with. And the fact that it's bouncing off the top, I'm a little worried about. So we'll get that dialed in. Like I said, hit that subscribe button, ring that bell notification so that you're aware of new videos. We've got over 1,000 videos on this channel. Now we go into the fabrication aspect of the day. Leftover work from the other day when I had my buddy over helping. So I'm going to readjust the bed on the drill press and get to blowing some holes out. We got fender holes and other holes to be working on these triple clamps. This particular set is for a first gen Kawasaki Takati 3. Another big wheel race bike going back out on the track. Yes, we are the only company that designs and builds triples for big wheeled three-wheelers. Big Reds, 225DX, first gen R, Takati 3s. You name it, we'll build it. No CNC programming. This is all manual. And these are all built per customer request. So there is no uniform run-of-the-mill around here. You've got a specific use for your vehicle, we'll build it specifically for your use. That's how it works around here. So yeah, we'll get some fender holes, a couple of slots cut up in this thing, and get these plates finished up. We bent the living snot out of the stem, trying to get it out of the lower plates. If you guys are familiar with Takati 3s, they've got a steel lower plate with the stem welded into it. You've got to grind the weld down and press the stem out. If you don't grind the weld far enough, you bend the living hell out of the stem trying to press it out. Not too concerned with it, considering we've got the taps and everything. We'll just make a new stem. It's that easy. Well, okay, it's supposed to be that easy, but it's not always that easy. So this stem started out as a piece of 1 1/4 inch mild steel round bar. Turned around, cut it down, got it to a basic length, machined the ends, all the fun stuff that you can do with a lathe. Make non-flat surfaces flat. Swap out to a drill chuck with a little centering bit. Slide the piece in there. Get the initial hole drilled so that we can get the threaded insert. Takati 3s have a bolt that go down through the center of the stem that holds top plate down. That's what this hole is for. So we're blowing the hole as deep as we can get it. That way we kind of lighten up the stem a little bit too. Get the threads in there. get it all taken care of. Set up, line up the old one to the new one. Finish off the top part with the threads. Make sure everything's to spec. Bring it down to size. Old diesel oil makes a good smoke show. And it's free. When your kid's got a diesel truck and he changes the oil in the shop, he leaves you with 5 quarts plus of used oil. That stuff lasts a long time. So we'll turn around, we use it for lube, clean up the ends, run the tap in by hand. The little machine I have isn't strong enough, and I've snapped too many taps to actually trust the machine to tap it. I actually do have the large size pieces to thread the outsides of these stems too. We make 250R stems, Tri-Z stems, and now T3 stems. Kind of neat the abilities that we have and the stuff that we can make in this shop. It's not one of those big buildings. It's not one of them fancy places. We try and keep it as simple. I'm a bare bones minimalist around here. The builds are the important things. The looks in the shop, don't really care. I know social media goes a lot on appearance and how things look. Well, I hide nothing. I'm not going to try and make things look better than they actually are. What you see is what you get. Very authentic around here. As you can see, I'm lining up the fender holes for a set of plates that are going on the Warrior Trike that I'm building. Yeah, that Warrior Trike is still a building process. Engines going together. I've got to use the frame right now as a mock-up for another set of plates that are going off. Somebody had an old vintage bike that they wanted to turn into a 3-wheeler. Didn't like the rake. So they sent me some plates. I'm going to relocate the holes and get everything all squared away. Now, in the spirit of efficiency over safety, you doink those center hole punches deep enough, that little bitty bit will center itself on the holes. These plates are heavy enough and that drill press is weak enough that we just hold the material and run the drill through it. Don't have to clamp it, don't have to worry about much. Machine setup is a time-consuming pain in the butt. If you can use the same setup for multiple jobs, then you line the jobs up. That way you don't have to change machine setup much. Now, in drilling these cast parts, these plates are what I did the aluminum casting in, try and get the bottoms to fill in so we can relocate the holes. There was apparently sand in between the casting and the actual plates. That's what bound up the drill bit. I was a little bit surprised. It only happened once. The rest of it went down through. We got the holes drilled in that so that we can screw the aluminum cast inserts into the OEM top triples. That way we've got some meat that we can drill around in, relocate the hole, and get everything where it needs to be. Basically, this is one of those, the guy wants to pull the rake in on his 3-wheeler that he's building. It's a custom 3-wheeler. And I told him that if you pull the rake in with the plates, it makes the steering kind of hard. Yes, it steers tighter, but the initial push to get the steering to move is harder than if it's raked out a little bit. So deraking plates isn't always the best idea just because it changes the rake and trail. If you want to move the rake in, best thing is to do what everybody else is doing and cut the neck off the frame and pull everything in. That way the stem and the forks are parallel. Yes, the Tri-Z and the 250R do have rake in the plates, but it pushes the forks out. It does not pull them in, so it actually makes the steering a little easier. And then for the how was your day, we chuck it up in the mill. It goes along with the braking things. Chuck it up in the mill, start fly cutting so that we've got a very flat surface on the bottom, and we bind. The drive gears on this mill are nylon. So that means we just smoked the gear. I moved a little bit. It had a little tick. Figured if I was slow and easy, we can get a little bit more cuts out of it, which happened. But in the process of trying to get more cuts out of it, the gear got hot, the nylon melted, and we completely smoked the gear. Now, at $75 a pop and a month and a half wait time, I really should have more of these in stock, but at $75 a piece, it's not really feasible to have these things in stock. Do they blow out often? No. This is the second gear that I've smoked in the 7 years that I've had this machine. So really can't say that it's not reliable, but I can say if you're a little hard on it and everything gets hot, the nylon will melt and you will go through gears. This little Bailey machine was never designed to do what I've been doing with it for so many years. I got it because it was affordable. It's a little MLD. And yeah, it's worked great. It's built a ton of triple plates and done all kinds of other stuff that it was never designed to do. When they built this thing, they didn't have me in mind. That's for sure. So yeah, the gear's smoked. That means all my plates and everything are on hold until I get a new drive gear. Cannot bore holes without this mill working. So, time again. We're waiting. We're waiting on people to pick up their bikes that are done and pay for them. Waiting on parts to come in. Waiting on machines to work correctly. Waiting on me. There's a head game in there, too. When you come out and get defeated on a daily basis, you don't want to go out no more. It's not always fun. I'm living a dream. I've always wanted to do this. And now I'm realizing I really should have had a different dream. Seeing as how I'm one of the few people doing what we do in this shop, I really can't stop doing it. I'm the only one doing it. You guys need parts. You've got projects that need built. Everybody else tells you no. I say let's do it. That's why we do what we do. Really appreciate everybody watching the video, especially if you made it out this long. We've got one more fail to add insult to injury. Turned around and got all the Chinese smoke out of the 4.5-inch grinder. Sadly, once you de-smoke a grinder, it doesn't turn back on. I'll see y'all in the next one. Live stream, Sawyer Custom Gaming. You got mechanical questions, want to just hang out and talk bullshit, stuff like that? Come on, hang out. After 8:30, past midnight, every night. Appreciate it, guys. I'll see you in the next one.